This is TWiT.
Jeremy wrote from Texas, hi. FYI, about Wednesday of last week, Windows 10 Update offered to update me to Windows 11, even though my HP AIO, that's an all-in-one, does not, he has in caps, qualify because it does not have the latest boot security level. I immediately switched over to grc.com and downloaded In Control and set my PC to stay on Windows 10, 22H2 with security updates. When I reloaded Windows Update, Windows 11 was no longer being offered. I thought I was safe from Windows 11, he writes, since I didn't qualify, but I guess not. Just wanted to let you know to combine my efforts with others, if any. It's a reminder to be proactive rather than rely on assumptions. I've invested a lot of muscle memory in Windows 10 and don't think Windows 11 will offer me much. I don't know if it was a momentary glitch in Win Update or a real offer, since I got In Control immediately, and he signed off regular listener and 6.1 tester Jeremy in Texas. Well, also yesterday came the news that Microsoft had fixed a bug that was responsible for causing upgrade offers to unsupported PCs. Apparently, the issue came to light last Thursday for Microsoft, and it was quickly resolved, and the fix was then pushed out to affected devices over this past weekend. And this isn't the first time this has happened. Windows 11 22H2 was previously offered to Windows 11 insiders in the release preview channel, even when they were using ineligible devices. So it was that after Microsoft was aware of this, but before they had pushed the update, that Windows users were reporting, many more than just Jeremy in Texas, via Reddit and Twitter, that their unsupported devices were, to their surprise, suddenly being offered Windows 11 upgrades. So Microsoft confessed this, and they said some hardware ineligible Windows 10 and Windows 11 version 21H2 devices were offered an inaccurate upgrade to Windows 11. These ineligible devices did not meet the minimum requirements to run Windows 11. Devices that experienced this issue were not able to complete the upgrade installation process. So apparently, some users with Windows 10 and even some who were using Windows 11 21H2 were surprised and, I presume, delighted by this news, whereas Jeremy and I would have both been horrified by it. The impacted devices included those running Windows 11 21H2, Windows 10 21H2, and Windows 10 20H2. And as Microsoft indicated, some later portion of the upgrade process apparently recognized the mistake that had been made and aborted the upgrade. So, and remember that last month, Microsoft announced that it had started a forced rollout of Windows 11 22H2, which is also known as the Windows 11 2022 update, to systems running Windows 11 21H2, which will be approaching their end of support date later this year on October 10th, actually, is when it officially ends in, of course, 2023. And this automated feature update rollout phase came after the Windows 11 2022 update also became available for broad deployment the same day to users with ineligible devices via Windows Update. Now, as it happens, the little Windows 10 machine I use weekly for Zooming this podcast to all of our listeners and Leo and TWiT and everything, it's recently been bugging me, I think the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks, to upgrade it to Windows 11. Since, I only turn it on before the podcast and then off immediately afterward, I just say no. But
there's
I hadn't got
a
around.
wonderful program from a guy named Steve Gibson called In Control. What? You don't use that, huh?
Are you reading ahead?
Oh, no, I'm not. Okay. I'd like to be surprised.
I hadn't gotten around to running GRC's in control utility.
Okay.
What do you know? To tweak the registry to get Microsoft to leave me alone. Now, recall that in control is the spiritual successor to Never 10. And Leo, I still remember your laughter when you first heard that name. Never 10. That's
Never
right.
11 in this case.
F off Microsoft.
Yeah.
Anyway, the expectation was that Never 10 would be all that was ever needed.
Yeah.
But then Microsoft decided that Windows 10 would not be the last Windows after all. But then, there was some tendency, there was, rather than I thought about creating Never 11. That's what people were asking for, but then I'd have to do Never 12 and Never 13. I wonder if they would do Windows 13. I'll bet not. Anyway, and then I have to keep changing the name. So instead, I switched to In Control, which now no longer at least has to change its name. As long as they leave this facility in place, I won't have to change it at all. So anyway, the point is that this story from Jeremy and the fact that I kept, just saying no every week finally prompted me to take action. And it worked beautifully. What do you know? Initially, it was showing the upgrade offer up at the top of the Windows Update screen. So I ran In Control and told it that I wanted to stay put where I was at Windows 10 22H2. So I clicked the button, it tweaked the registry, and that was that. Then I reran Windows Update, and the offer for Windows 11 was still there since it hadn't refreshed. So I asked Windows Update to recheck for any updates, and that refreshed the screen, and the Windows 11 offer disappeared. And I received what I remembered now when I was originally testing this thing, the little red asterisk notice up at the top of Windows Update, which says asterisk in red. The whole thing's in red. Some settings are managed by your organization, which is, yes, perfect. Leave me alone. So, what we're essentially telling it is that, the higher ups have decided that they're going to be in charge of upgrading. So Microsoft shouldn't be bothering us minions with any of that. So anyway, I just wanted to remind everybody that exists because, as Microsoft has said, they're going to get more insistent about this, and no thank you.
Hey, I'm Rod Pyle, Editor-in-Chief of Ad Astra Magazine, and each week I join with my co-host to bring you This Week in Space, the latest and greatest news from the final frontier. We talk to NASA chiefs, space scientists, engineers, educators, and artists, and sometimes we just shoot the breeze over what's hot and what's not in space, books, and TV. And we do it all for you, our fellow true believers. So whether you're an armchair adventurer or waiting for your turn to grab a slot in Elon's Mars rocket, join us on This Week in Space and be part of the greatest adventure of all time.